right? From your brain to your reality. That's the power you hold in this moment. Every morning you wake up with 70,000 thoughts. Most of those thoughts, they're the exact same ones you had yesterday and the day before and the day before that. You're literally thinking yourself into the same life day after day. But here's what's incredible. Your brain is rewiring itself right now with every single thought you think. Let me share something personal. 10 years ago, I found myself trapped in a loop of self doubt that was literally reshaping my neural pathways. I would wake up each morning, and before my feet hit the floor, the voice in my head would start: "You're not good enough. You can't do this. Who do you think you are?" Those thoughts weren't just thoughts. They were becoming my biology or my reality, my future. But then I discovered something that changed everything. Your brain doesn't know the difference between what's happening in your outer world and what's happening in your inner world. When you change your inner dialogue, you literally change the structure of your brain. Scientists call this neuroplasticity, your brain's ability to form new neural connections throughout your life. Here's the fascinating part: the synapses in your brain are constantly being updated, pruned, and strengthened based on your thoughts. Just like a muscle gets stronger with exercise, neural pathways get stronger with repetition. Think of it like walking through a field of tall grass. The first time you walk a path, it's difficult, but walk that same path repeatedly, and soon you've created a clear trail. Your thoughts work the same way. The words you speak to yourself aren't just empty sounds disappearing into the air, they're physical signals rewiring your brain's circuitry. They're creating your future moment by moment. And over the next few minutes, I'm going to show you exactly how to use this knowledge to transform your life in just 7 days. Think about your current thought patterns like an old operating system running on a computer. Right now, your brain is running U 1.0. It's familiar, comfortable, and predictable. But just like outdated software, these old thought patterns might be slowing you down, creating bugs in your life and preventing you from accessing your full potential. When you repeatedly think negative thoughts, you're essentially coding these patterns deeper into your neural network. It's like your brain is a superhighway system, and every negative thought is a car traveling down that same road. The more traffic on that road, the wider and more established it becomes. "I'm not good enough" becomes an 8-lane highway in your mind, while positive thoughts are like small, rarely used dirt paths. Let me explain what's happening in your brain on a biological level. Every time you have a thought, your brain releases specific chemicals. We call these neurotransmitters. When you think negative thoughts, your brain releases stress chemicals like cortisol and adrenaline. These chemicals don't just float around aimlessly, they dock into specific receptor sites on your cells, like a key fitting into a lock. Over time, your cells actually create more receptor sites for these chemicals. Your body becomes physically addicted to these negative thought patterns. This is why most people stay stuck. They're literally addicted to their old way of thinking. It's not just a habit, it's a biological dependency. Your body is craving those familiar chemicals, those same emotional states, just like an addict craves their next fix. And just like an addict, you will find yourself unconsciously creating situations in your life that allow you to experience those same emotions. Here's what makes this even more fascinating: your brain doesn't distinguish between what's real and what's imagined. When you worry about something that might go wrong tomorrow, your body releases the same stress chemicals as if that thing were happening right now. You're literally programming your cells to expect negativity, creating a self-fulfilling prophecy. But here's the good news: just as your brain created these neural superhighways of negative thinking, you can build new ones. You can literally reprogram your brain's operating system. The science of epigenetics shows us that your thoughts can switch genes on and off, changing how your cells express themselves. Your thoughts aren't just abstract concepts, they're physical signals that can alter your biological makeup. Understanding this science is crucial because it shows you that you're not stuck with your current thought patterns. Your brain's operating system isn't fixed, it's constantly being updated by your thoughts, words, and beliefs. The question is, are you consciously choosing these updates? Or are you letting your old programming run on autopilot? Now, I'm going to share something powerful with you. The key to breaking free from those old thought patterns lies in the next 7 days. 7 days might sound short, but it's actually the minimum time your brain needs to begin creating lasting change. Think about this. If you've been thinking the same thoughts for 20, 30, or 40 years, you can begin to rewrite that program in just 7 days. Let me explain why 7 days is so critical. Research shows that it takes your brain approximately 7 days to start pruning old neural connections and strengthening new ones. It's like your brain is a garden. For the first few days, you're pulling out the weeds of old thoughts and planting new seeds. By day 7, those seeds start sprouting into new neural pathways. But here's the part most people miss. You can't just casually think new thoughts and expect transformation. You need to break the emotional addiction to your old self. Your body has been getting a steady supply of those familiar emotional chemicals: worry, self doubt, fear, and just like any addiction, it will fight to keep getting its fix. The first 3 days are usually the hardest. You'll feel resistance. Your mind will try to pull you back to your old patterns. This is normal. It's actually a sign that you're creating real change. What can you expect during these 7 days? The first 2 days, you might feel uncomfortable, like you're speaking a foreign language to yourself. Days 3 and 4, you might experience mood swings as your body adjusts to different chemical patterns. But by days 5 through 7, something remarkable starts happening. You'll You'll begin to notice moments where the new thoughts feel natural, where positive self talk becomes your default setting. Remember this: transformation isn't about forcing change through willpower alone. It's about consistently installing new thought patterns until they become your new normal. These 7 days are your opportunity to literally rewrite your brain's programming, to create new neural pathways that serve your highest potential rather than your lowest expectations. Let's talk about the exact framework you'll use each day. Starting the moment you open your eyes. Your morning routine is crucial because your brain is most programmable in those first moments after waking. When you first wake up, your brain is still in theta state, the same state hypnotherapists use for transformation. This is the golden hour for rewiring. Here's your morning protocol. Before you even sit up in bed, place your hand on your heart. This simple gesture triggers your body's coherent center. Take 3 slow, deep breaths in through your nose for 5 counts. Hold for 5. Out through your mouth for 5. This breathing pattern activates your parasympathetic nervous system, creating the perfect state for reprogramming your mind. Now, this is where most people get it wrong. They jump straight to affirmations without emotional intensity. Remember how we talked about your cells having receptor sites for emotional chemicals? You need to combine strong, elevated emotions with your new declarations. Start by generating genuine feelings of gratitude, joy, and excitement in your body. You can do this by vividly remembering moments when you felt incredibly proud, accomplished, or loved. Your empowerment statements need to be personal and specific. Don't just say, "I am confident." Instead, create statements that paint a complete picture. I move through my day with unshakable confidence, making decisions easily and speaking my truth boldly. Feel the truth of these words in your body as you say them. Imagine yourself already being this person. The physical component is crucial. Sit up straight, shoulders back, chin slightly lifted. This posture signals to your nervous system that you're in a state of power. As you speak your declarations, use your hands to anchor the energy. When you make a powerful statement, press your thumb and first finger together firmly. This creates a physical anchor for the new neural pathway you're building. Your voice matters too. Speak your declarations with authority, even if you have to whisper them. The vibration of your voice creates waves of energy that affect your cellular structure. Combine your declarations with visualization. See yourself living these truths. Feel them in your body. Hear the sounds associated with this new reality. Here's a critical element most people miss. You need to practice this when you're standing up to change. Your physical state throughout the day. If you catch yourself slumping or feeling low, immediately stand tall, pull your shoulders back, lift your chest, and repeat your empowerment statements. This creates a feedback loop between your mind and body, reinforcing the new patterns you're installing. End your morning practice with what I call the energetic seal. Place both hands over your heart. breathe deeply, and feel gratitude for the new person you're becoming. This seals in the new programming and sets the tone for your entire day. Remember, you're not just saying words, you're literally rewiring your brain circuitry with every practice session. So let's dive into one of the most fascinating processes your brain is capable of: metacognition, or thinking about your thinking. Throughout your day, your mind generates thousands of thoughts. But here's the key difference that will transform your life. Instead of being the thinker of your thoughts, you're going to become the observer of your thoughts. Think of your mind like a busy street. Up until now, you've been standing in the middle of that street, getting knocked around by every thought that passes by. But starting today, you're going to take a different position. You're going to sit on a park bench above that street, watching those thoughts go by. This is metacognition in action. You're no longer at the mercy of your thoughts. You're the observer of them. When you first start this practice, you'll be amazed at how many negative thoughts automatically pop up. Don't be discouraged. This awareness is actually the first step to rewiring your brain. Every time you catch a negative thought, it's like shining a spotlight on an unwanted guest in your mind. This simple act of noticing these thoughts begins to weaken their neural pathways. Now, here's where the real transformation happens. The moment you catch a negative thought, you need to immediately replace it with your new declaration. So let's say you catch yourself thinking, "I always mess things up." Stop right there. This is your rewiring moment. Take a breath, straighten your posture, and declare with feeling: "I handle every situation with capability and grace." This isn't just positive thinking. You're literally creating new neural pathways while weakening the old ones. The key to this replacement strategy is speed and consistency. Think of it like changing the channel on a TV. The faster you switch from the negative channel to the positive one, the less power the negative thought has to affect your emotional state. But here's what makes this really powerful. Each time you make this switch, you're not just replacing a thought, you're building a new neural highway in your brain. Repetition is absolutely crucial in this process. Every time you repeat your new declaration, you are strengthening these new neural pathways. It's like laying down another layer of pavement on your new road while simultaneously letting grass grow over the old one. The brain operates on a use it or lose it principle. What you don't use, you lose. When you consistently choose not to travel down those negative thought pathways, they begin to weaken and eventually fade. This process requires patience and persistence. Your brain has been running these old patterns for years, maybe decades. In the beginning, catching and replacing negative thoughts might feel like a full-time job. That's perfect. It means you're becoming more aware, more conscious of your mental patterns. Each time you catch and replace a thought, celebrate that moment. You're literally rebuilding your brain's architecture. Remember, this isn't about suppressing negative thoughts or pretending they don't exist. It's about acknowledging them and consciously choosing a different neural pathway. Think of it like training a puppy. You don't get angry when it misbehaves. You gently but firmly guide it in the right direction over and over again. With each repetition, you're teaching your brain a new way of operating, creating new neural pathways that will eventually become your default setting. As you practice this throughout your day, you start to notice something remarkable. The gaps between negative thoughts begin to widen. The new pathways become stronger, more established. Your brain starts automatically choosing these new routes because they're becoming the path of least resistance. This is neuroplasticity in action. Your brain physically changing its structure based on your conscious choices. Let's talk about the real engine of transformation: your emotions. Most people don't realize that thoughts alone are like sending a letter without a stamp. They won't go anywhere without emotional power behind them. Your emotions are the amplifiers that turn your thoughts into physical changes in your body and your reality. Think about how your body responds when you're afraid. Your heart races, your palms sweat, your muscles tense. That's just a thought creating instant physical change in your body. Now imagine harnessing that same power with elevated emotions like joy, gratitude, and unwavering confidence. When you combine these elevated emotions with your new thought patterns, you're not just programming your brain, you're changing your entire body's chemistry. This is where heart-brain coherence becomes crucial. Your heart actually has its own neural network. Scientists call it the heart brain. When you align your heart's emotions with your brain's thoughts, you create a powerful synchronization that amplifies your ability to change. It's like turning up the volume on your transformation process. Place your hand on your heart and breathe deeply while declaring your new truths. Feel your heart's rhythm syncing with your thoughts. Here's what makes this truly remarkable. When you generate elevated emotions while thinking your new thoughts, you're not just creating change at the mental level, you're sending signals to your genes, activating what scientists call immediate early genes, genes that help create new proteins for building new neural connections. Your emotions are literally helping to rebuild your brain's architecture. But here's where most people get stuck. They try to use tomorrow's opportunities to generate today's elevated emotions. That's backward. You need to generate these elevated emotions first, independent of your external circumstances. Remember, your brain doesn't know the difference between a real experience and one you're vividly imagining. When you consistently generate feelings of joy, gratitude, and empowerment through your imagination, your brain starts producing the neurochemicals associated with those states. Start each declaration practice by deliberately generating elevated emotions. Think of moments when you felt incredibly proud, deeply loved, or absolutely certain of your success. Let those feelings flood your body. Now, while in that elevated state, declare your new truths. This combination of elevated emotion and clear intention creates a biochemical change in your body that's far more powerful than either thoughts or emotions alone. You're literally becoming addicted to these new elevated emotional states, creating a new baseline for how you feel and think. This is how lasting transformation occurs, not through willpower, but through the consistent combination of elevated emotions with clear intentions. Let me give you the exact blueprint for implementing these changes in your daily life. Start with this morning phrase, the moment you wake up. Today, I am the creator of my experience. Say this before your feet touch the floor. Follow it immediately with, I am entering this day as the highest version of myself. The timing of these phrases is crucial. They need to be the first signals your brain receives. Throughout your day, you need strategic trigger points. Every time you walk through a doorway, touch your heart and declare, I am becoming more of who I truly am. When you look in a mirror, place your hand on your heart and say, I recognize the power within me. These environmental triggers turn ordinary moments into opportunities for rewiring. Set alarms on your phone, not just for morning and evening practice, but for random moments throughout your day. When they go off, stop whatever you're doing and declare, right now, I am redesigning my destiny. Make this declaration with your full presence. Even if you're in public, you can whisper it or say it silently with the same intensity. Now let's address the resistance and doubt that will come up because they will come up. This is normal. Your old self will fight to survive. When you feel doubt creeping in, don't fight it. Instead, acknowledge it with this phrase, I observe this doubt, and I choose a new response. Then immediately stand tall and declare, I am greater than any limiting thoughts. The the key to building momentum is celebrating small wins. Every time you catch yourself in an old pattern and successfully redirect it, touch your thumb to your heart and silently say, I am mastering my mind. Keep a small notebook with you. At the end of each day, write down 3 times you successfully redirected your thoughts. This creates a record of your transformation. Create what I call power spots in your environment. These are specific locations where you practice your declarations with maximum intensity. It might be a corner of your bedroom, a spot in your garden, or even your car. When you're in these power spots, declare with full voice, I am becoming supernatural. My thoughts create my reality. Use physical anchors throughout your day. When you're waiting in line, press your thumb and first finger together and silently declare, every moment is an opportunity for transformation. When you're driving, use red lights as triggers to declare, I am on the path of constant evolution. Remember, momentum builds through consistency in small moments. Don't wait for big opportunities to practice. Turn every mundane moment into a chance for rewiring. While brushing your teeth, declare, I am systematically upgrading my life. While preparing food, say, I am nourishing my body and my future. The more you weave these practices into your daily routine, the more natural they become. Soon, these new patterns will start running automatically, just like your old patterns used to. But unlike your old patterns, these new ones are consciously chosen, deliberately installed, and aligned with your highest potential. Let me share with you the tangible transformations you can expect over these 7 days. Scientists have observed through brain imaging that in just 1 week of focused mental practice, new dendritic connections begin forming in your brain. Think of dendrites like electrical wires carrying signals between neurons. When you consistently direct your thoughts in new patterns, your brain literally builds new circuits to support these patterns. Within the first 3 days, you'll notice subtle but significant changes in how you perceive your daily experiences. Where you once saw obstacles, you'll start noticing opportunities. This isn't just positive thinking, it's your brain's reticular activating system being reprogrammed to filter reality. Your brain is actually changing which information it brings to your attention. By day 4 and 5, you'll begin experiencing what we call synchronicities, meaningful coincidences that align with your new thought patterns. This happens because your brain's new neural networks are now actively seeking evidence to support your new beliefs. It's like tuning a radio to a new frequency and suddenly you're picking up signals that were always there but weren't previously in your range of perception. Let me share a case that illustrates this beautifully. Sarah, a participant in our 7 day program, had spent years thinking, I'm not creative. After 5 days of consistent practice, she found herself spontaneously coming up with solutions to problems at work that had stumped her team for months. Her brain had literally built new pathways for creative thinking, and these pathways were becoming her new default operating system. The physical changes in your brain during this process are remarkable through neuroplasticity. Your brain is constantly creating and strengthening synaptic connections based on your repeated thoughts and emotions. When you maintain elevated emotions while focusing on your new declarations, you're actually accelerating this process. Your brain releases neurochemicals that facilitate faster learning and stronger neural connections. By day 6 and 7, many participants report feeling what we call the new normal. Activities and thoughts that once required conscious effort start happening automatically. It's like your brain has installed and optimized a new operating system. One participant described it as finally feeling natural in my own skin. This isn't coincidence, it's neuroscience in action. Your brain physically restructuring itself to support your new way of being. Remember, these changes are temporary. Every time you repeat your new thought patterns with elevated emotion, you're strengthening these new neural pathways, making them more permanent. You're literally building a new brain that supports your highest potential. Let me address the exact challenges you'll face during the 7 day transformation and how to overcome them. The first and most common obstacle is what I call the familiar pull, your brain trying to drag you back to your old thought patterns. When this happens, remember discomfort is the sign of rewiring. Just like a muscle feels uncomfortable when you're building strength, your brain experiences resistance when building new neural pathways. You'll likely experience moments where it feels like nothing is changing. This is when most people give up. But here's what's actually happening. Your brain is in a consolidation phase. Think of it like building a house. There are times when progress is visible, like putting up walls, and times when crucial work is happening below the surface, like concrete setting. Both are equally important for lasting change. Consistency is often challenged by what I call life interference, busy schedules, unexpected events, or emotional triggers that tempt you to skip your practice. Here's your solution rather than aiming for perfect practice. Here's your solution. Rather than aiming for perfect practice, aim for persistent practice. If you miss a morning session, don't wait until tomorrow to start rewiring your brain. Building resilience isn't about avoiding setbacks. It's about how quickly you bounce back. When you catch yourself falling into old patterns, don't waste energy on self-criticism. Instead, use this response. Thank you for showing me where I need to strengthen my practice. Then immediately return to your new thought patterns with even more intensity. The key to maintaining consistency lies in what I call micro commitments. Don't think about all 7 days at once. Focus on the next thought, the next hour, the next declaration. Success in this process isn't measured by perfect performance. It's measured by your ability to return to the practice properly, again and again, no matter how many times you get distracted. Remember, every challenge you face is actually strengthening your new neural pathways. Each time you overcome resistance, you're not just changing your thoughts, you're building a more resilient brain that's better equipped to maintain these changes long term. The time for waiting is over. Right here, in this moment, you hold the power to completely transform who you are. These next 7 days aren't just another week in your life, they're the foundation of your new reality. Your brain is waiting right now to be reshaped by the thoughts you choose in this moment. Think about this. Every great transformation in human history started with a single decision, a single moment where someone said, "Enough. This is your moment." Your brain's neuroplasticity isn't waiting for someday, for the perfect time, for when you feel ready. It's active right now, in this very second, ready to begin building new neural pathways based on your next thought. You already have everything you need. Your brain's ability to change isn't something you need to earn or develop. It's built into your biology, waiting to be activated by your decisions. Every cell in your body is listening to your thoughts right now, ready to begin reshaping itself according to your new directions. Picture yourself 7 days from now. The person you'll be isn't just thinking different thoughts. They're operating from an entirely new level of being. They're making decisions from strength instead of fear, seeing opportunities instead of obstacles, creating their reality instead of reacting to it. That person isn't just a possibility, they're an inevitability once you commit to this process. Remember this final truth. You're not just changing your thoughts, you're awakening your brain's natural ability to evolve. Every time you've changed in the past, every skill you've learned, every habit you've developed, these were all your brain demonstrating its power to transform. Now you're simply directing that power consciously with purpose and precision. The next 7 days belong to you. Your brain is ready. Your potential is waiting. The only question that remains is, will you begin right now?